Today presents Strike Battleship Argent, Book 1 in the Starships at War series, by Shane Lachlan Black. Copyright 2016.
Hey, science fiction and fantasy fans, Shane Lachlan Black here, reminding you that all of my serialized fiction and all of my serialized audiobooks are available on my site, brought to you ad-free by the Action Faction. We're also supporting literacy. Every time we hit a milestone, we send another book to a school. Plus, you can get your own call sign and get producer credit in videos just like this one when you sponsor us. All ahead, battle speed.
Somewhere between Argent and the enemy cruiser, the 22 Wildcat fighters of Archangel Squadron banked in a perfect triple gyro diamond formation, energized their drive fields, and accelerated to 300 kilometers per s. The calm voice of Flight Leader Lieutenant Zach Full Keg Roscoe sounded in their headsets. Avenger Wings, this is Archangel Zero. Close and overload anti-proton energy guns and stand by to engage in flight order. Affirmative, Alpha Zero. Archangel Squadron expanded its formation into tight groups of 4 fighters each, with each diamond set rotating their positions on the vertical axis as they maneuvered into firing lanes. The 2 lead fighters flipped on their spotting transmitters. Engage Triple S and accelerate to attack speed. 22 lethal fighters rocketed forward, approaching speeds of nearly 400 kilometers a second. All pilots engaged their full-spectrum combat telemetry systems and activated their sight sound environments. Immediately, every fighter's onboard computers added sound, temperature, air pressure, tactile and olfactory stimuli to the battle space, or at least that's what the pilots thought. Their tac suits were responsible for the sensory inputs and the subtle changes in the air filtration. The pilots' brains interpreted all the new information as if they were riding Harley-Davidson motorcycles across Omaha Beach during Operation Overlord. The sight sound system gave Wildcat and Yellow Jacket pilots dramatically increased capabilities in space combat, as it allowed their minds to gather information on the battle space on multiple levels simultaneously, instead of trying to synthesize only visual information from their instruments and occasional spoken instructions from their flight leader. Explosions were heard and felt. Fires had scent and heat. The approach of enemy vessels and missiles were often heard before they were seen. Space was given an atmosphere and the roar of wind. There was even taste added to some of the scents. Pilots utilizing what came to be known as Triple S during initial combat performance tests swept instruments-only squadrons from space with almost comedic consistency. The analysis of their performance was crystal clear. Human beings, provided with the ability to fully utilize their reflexes, intuition, and subconscious thought processes, performed at a much higher level than those forced to interpret machine readouts. They utilized energy better, had better physiological reactions, and put far less stress on their ship's environmental and emergency life support systems. Ultimately, it came down to numbers. Pound for pound, a Triple S-equipped fighter was as effective in engagements as 3 equivalent fighters not so equipped. No technology in fleet history had been rushed onto the battlefield faster. 12 seconds later, the Archangels came screaming through the enemy cruiser's defensive perimeter on wildly divergent attack vectors. A pitched howl came over the BattleNet as Roscoe's lead Wildcat strafed the cruiser's communications arrays.
Shane Lachlan Black here. I built a bookstore on a site called Today. It's where I make our work available to readers like yourself. This is our catalog. All these books are real. 81 titles, 18 collections, 2 million words. All the covers were produced by my studio. All the books are human-authored by me. Today does all the things other bookstores do. Here's how it works. You will find the sections of the store in the menu. Today works on both mobile and PC. Find a book you like and click or tap to get to the book page. Some books have trailers and audio samples. Some have editorial and reviews. Some have sample chapters. Click or tap to enjoy the sample and use the button to return to the bookstore. When you've found a book you like, click or tap the Secure Buy button to go to our payment processor. We have industry-standard secure ordering and a 7-day money-back guarantee on digital purchases. We ship paperbacks and hardcovers in the U.S. and internationally. You complete your purchase by clicking or tapping the Pay button. The store will process your order and you'll get an email that looks like this. If it's a digital purchase, quicker tap the download button, and the book is yours. Ebooks arrive in EPUB format. Audiobooks are in MP3s. Collections arrive in zip archives. There is no DRM, no logins, no format hassles, and your books won't disappear someday. You can install them on all your devices, phones, tablets, e-readers, PCs, or televisions. Our books are compatible with all devices. Our print titles are premium quality, and each one is signed by me. When you make a purchase from our store, you are directly supporting artists and an author. This is how we fund new stories and the values our characters stand for: honor, friendship, courage, and teamwork. The best way you can show your support is to buy our books and our official merchandise from getabook.today, the home of Lady Star, the Iron Jammers, the Starships Universe, and Kings and Conquest. All ahead, battle speed.
The little ship's AP guns frantically poured anti-proton destruction across the larger ship's hull. A line of explosions followed by secondaries ripped and thundered, throwing debris and ablative hull plating in all directions as Alpha Zero peeled away. When the rest of the squadron opened fire, the results were not unlike 24 angry mongooses savaging a disoriented hog. Weapons fire from the relatively tiny craft flashed and strobed from every direction. The cruiser's point defense returned fire as best it could, but Wildcat fighters were notoriously difficult to track at such close ranges. Orange impact bursts, debris and blasts of venting atmosphere appeared in locations all over the cruiser's hull. Moments later, Commander Honora Doverly, executive officer of the battleship DSS Argent, unleashed the full power of the fleet's precision-synchronized battle data network. With the enemy cruiser now engaged with the growling and swirling furball of angry little fighters, it left their mothership free to resume the iron-heavy body blows. Reconfirm range to target and re-establish waveform lock on previous bearings. Affirmative, Kilo X-ray 2 bearings match, waveform lock confirmed, the petty officer at Tactical replied. Her voice sounded far more confident now that there was someone in charge. Snapshot 6. Railcaster 6 glowed to life and then unleashed another immense bolt of destructive power across the dark expanse of space. The datanet made sure fire control was timed to tolerances of 1,000th of a second in order to avoid hitting any of Archangel Squadron's fighters. The shot detonated against the enemy cruiser's portside hull just aft of her bridge. It was the space combat equivalent of hitting an unprotected opponent's neck with a wide swing of a headsman's axe. The explosion shook the damaged vessel like a crash dummy being ejected through a windshield. Skywatch, this is Force Command. Message to Commander. Paladin Strike Force on Flight 3. Launch all spacecraft. I say again, launch all spacecraft. Vector Rally Point Gold and stand by for target instructions. Yes, ma'am, Highlanders are in the air. Very well, monitor Archangel 0 and report status at first opportunity. Signals, get me Nemesis 8 on scrambled frequency. The rest of the bridge crew exhaled in awe as they watched the Argent First Officer do her deadly work. She had already launched enough firepower to level a small city in a matter of minutes, and everyone aboard knew there were yet more squadrons buzzing on Argent's other 2 flight decks, just waiting for the young doctor's nod. Watching a refined young woman sipping tea between opening the cages of rabid, hunger-crazed wolves to chase fleeing robbers would have been less unusual looking. I have Nemesis 8 on scrambled channel J9. Very well. Nemesis, can you give me an estimate on the cycle time for the Sentinel? Doverly asked. It all depends on their power systems, ma'am. We're not reading any reactor signatures from anywhere inside that asteroid field. If they're running on batteries or planet-side portables, that may have been their only shot for a while. Understood. Any change in readings, you raise me directly on my headset, clear? Acknowledged, Force Commander. Bridge to engineering. Get me a damage report as soon as possible. Report readiness to tactical station. Honora keyed her mic silent. What is the ensign's condition? He's stabilized, ma'am. Request permission to evacuate him to sickbay.
Wolverines!
The rest of the story is only one keyword away. Visit jumpline.click in your browser. New keywords are activated every day. Get access to our entire catalog of science fiction, fantasy, and gamelit.